All right. So very quick introduction. Originally from Connecticut. Don't hold that against me. Went to University of Connecticut.
My father finished off there. Started Nebraska, then there. But my dad's 79 though, so it's a baseball.
There you go. I did not play any sports. Definitely not basketball at UConn. I'll tell you that. But it was the heyday. I think it was 90 to 95. So there's some good players that came through at that time. But
that's cool.
I actually moved out to California and started a career in mortgage and real estate. So in the 2000s, I was in mortgage and real estate like everyone and their mother, and actually lived and worked in California until about 2011. And at that point, let me try to minimize this or move this. All right, that's better. At that point, I decided to leave the rat race and I moved abroad. And so since then, I've actually just been living in other foreign countries and working in digital marketing for other professionals. So when I first moved abroad, some friends and coworkers asked me for help. Hey, you've been doing this blogging thing. You've been doing this, social media. It was all relatively new in the mid 2000s. And so they said, hey, could you give us some help with that? And so it was sort of an accidental career. And Seventh Wave Media was born. And I started, it's been 20 plus years in total that I've been in marketing and sales, but I've been busy as heck since 2011, working virtually as a marketing assistant, sort of. And last, I'd say about 3 years, I've been focusing on financial planners and advisors exclusively, though I help still some people in real estate and mortgage, insurance, CPAs. So basically anyone who's a financial professional. So my goals with this presentation, I wanted to offer you guys some fresh clarity and perspective on your business's marketing. There's a lot of stuff out there, a million articles, people selling you things, a million things online. So there's no shortage of information. I just wanted to sort of have you think a little bit differently. And if there's one or two great things you could take away from this presentation today, that's great for me. And I want you to get excited about the potential as well and the possibilities to grow your business, because there definitely are some. And third, I wanted to give you some tangible, actionable things you could do to improve your marketing. So not big, broad-based theory and, read this 500-page report. I wanted to actually give you steps. So tomorrow you get to the office, you say, hey, let's do 1, 2, and 3, and let's get started with that. And then, of course, it would be nice if I kept everyone from falling asleep. That's always the goal when I speak. So as a financial planner or a professional, you have a massive opportunity within reach. And I don't have to tell you guys this because of the high lifetime revenue potential for each client you bring in. You might get paid today, this year, next year, and hopefully that also grows in the future as they do better and their wealth grows. Financial planning is also a very high referral, multiple service business. So meaning if you do a good job for this person, they're going to tell their friends, their coworkers, maybe their children down the road. And also you could give them more services, offer more services to them. So clients beget clients, basically. And the other thing why you have huge opportunities as a financial planner is that your competitors are terrible at marketing, woefully bad. So that's definitely a good opportunity. But you also have some big challenges. Competition is stiff. Depending on the stats and the data, maybe you guys have some insight into this, but there are almost about 300,000 planners and advisors in the US. But studies show that only about 30% of people use a paid financial advisor. And then if you talk about people sometimes prefer a local advisor, the pond at which you could fish starts shrinking really quickly, right? And then again, with marketing, there's also compliance hurdles, which is everyone's favorite, compliance. And so basically that keeps people from marketing correctly a lot of the time. So marketing, basically just think about what am I doing different to stand out from my competitors, from the financial planner down the street, from them using their bank or using a robo-advisor or something like that. Think about with your marketing, your ideal prospect. What will they notice? What will they think positively about or have a positive reaction to? What will motivate them to act? You're really, they say you're day trading attention, right? Anyone that likes Gary Vee or listens to some of his stuff, he says you're day trading attention. And people are so inundated with messages these days. They're so busy. So you really need to hit these points for them. And hint, it's not the generic standard content from your company or like these big, I call them big box agencies or services that offer marketing. That's just good enough where you could check the box and say, I've done some marketing. The answer is your marketing should be custom. It should be consistent. And consistent's not a sexy word, but that's showing up and doing it every single day. It doesn't fall off in a month or a week or next year. It should be personalized to your ideal prospect or your target market. And of course, it should offer some value. So how to think about marketing instead of a complex definition, just think about it as a conversation you're having not only with your current clients, but your potential future clients. And with your potential future clients, it's like a conversation just to see if it's a good fit, if you could help them, if they're your ideal target market, or if they're worth taking on as a client, and if you want to do business in the future. So when you think of it like that, it's just a broad-based conversation over the fence with a neighbor, with a friend, with a future client, it becomes a lot more relaxed and less intimidating. All right. So this one you guys might not like a lot, but what business are you actually in? You're going to say financial planning, but I'll challenge you a little bit and say you're also in sales. I don't know if it's 50-50, 80-20, whatever, but you are
100% sales.
What's that?
100% sales, but any professional is 100% sales, even if you're a doctor, you know?
Absolutely, unless they have a conveyor belt of clients and there's more than you could handle and you just do your job and make a ton of money and you never have to worry about acquiring clients, then absolutely you're in sales. And a lot of people push back on that when I tell them that, so I'm glad you guys are receptive to that.
Yep.
But you're on the front line with the clients, of course, and that's sales. You guys, I made a couple notes here, but you guys you're not on the trading floor, you're not underwriting insurance, you're not lending your own money, you're not, on and on. You're actually acting in an advisory capacity. You're taking in and filtering and translating huge amounts of data to try to guide them. So that's sales. And so when you realize that, it makes you pay a little bit more attention to your marketing or what you're offering clients or the client's perspective. And so I give this example to some people who push back on being in sales or don't want to do marketing. Basically, who would have the better career and make more money, which is the goal? The great marketer who's amazing at it, but maybe a so-so financial planner when it comes to nuts and bolts, or they're pushing products or services that they get paid more on. We've all seen some of these. Or the amazing financial planner, the absolute genius who does little or no marketing.
Number one, 100% of the time, I want number one.
100%. And of course, the goal is to be balanced and be great at both, right? But if you don't sell, you don't eat. If you don't bring in new clients, your business is going to die on the vine. Yeah, we already went through that. So of course, sales doesn't have to be a bad word. You're not selling used Volkswagens with a bad engine, right? You could provide value, information. You could help the client with their challenges and problems, be honest and have their best interest at heart. I really like to look at it with true alignment. The more people you help, the more money you'll make when you're doing the right things. And so the better you sell, really the more money you'll make, and the happier the prospect is, the more people that you're helping. You got to keep that in mind every day when you're on the phone, when you're talking to prospects, when you're thinking about your business. And of course, with any business, client acquisition isn't free, unfortunately. You're going to spend on marketing in two ways: money, and you could think of it, of course, as a certain percentage of your yearly revenue towards marketing or client acquisition. I don't know exactly what that should be. Maybe you guys could tell me if you have a number in mind, if it's 5%, 1%, 10%, but you spend money to bring in more clients. And the other is time. And really, that's just as valuable, if not more so, for you guys, especially you guys, your time. And marketing only works if you do. And so you could hire services to go ahead and do your marketing for you, but any good service that's worth their weight in salt, they really should have your input. They want you in the videos. They want you speaking. They want your voice, your quotes, your philosophies. So marketing will take up some of your time. The key is, of course, is to have marketing that's efficient with your time, systematized, and set up processes and campaigns so you're not replicating the same thing. You're not having the same day 365 times. You're basically setting up things that are going to pay off and become more and more time efficient as you go. That's with any system or process, right? So that's basically what you're going to invest into your marketing: money, time, or a little of both. And unfortunately, too many financial planners, they get so confused by what's going on. And I get it. You guys are so busy. There's so many external messages, so many people trying to get your business. So it ends up usually with one of three ways a financial planner, their marketing system looks like. It's either trying a little of everything, sort of the dabbler. They waste a lot of their time, a lot of their money, and they never really see things through all the way. They could be doing it today, and then they'll try the next thing tomorrow, and then the next thing next year. There's people who are wildly inconsistent with their marketing. You know, January, they hit the ground running and they're marketing like crazy. And by, you know, it's like our New Year's goals to lose weight, right? And by March, they're back, you know, they're not doing any marketing and they've fallen off. Or they could do it a lot this year, but it's inconsistent with branding and all their marketing looks completely different graphically, the messaging and stuff next year. Or a lot of people just do absolutely nothing. And to me personally, my opinion is relying on standard, generic, in the box company marketing is probably doing next to nothing. So there are 8 ways to get clients, and we're jumping around a little bit, but I thought this would be a good way to frame the whole marketing conversation with you guys and simplify a few things. Number 1 is your mama, and say that tongue in cheek, but when you start out in the business, right, your mom says, "Oh, congratulations, let's give you, you know, my retirement planning." And then maybe it's your sister, and then your brother-in-law, and then it's your best friend from high school, and it's your personal network. Then you could also reach out to people privately, and that includes emails, phone calls, cold calling, messages, and social media. But it's basically reaching out one-on-one and privately to try to get someone's business. You could make content. So you could have great videos, you could have blogs, articles, images, graphics, social media, and you're putting it out there in the world, usually via social media or however you distribute it. And you're hoping someone sees it, you're hoping someone's impressed by it, or they get some value out of it or some good information, and they come to you. And by the way, there's no one right way. It's just good to know what you're doing and make sure you have a balance of all of these things, really. There's paid ads. Maybe that's Facebook, maybe that's Google, whatever. Maybe it's a billboard, maybe it's a gym ad, right? But whatever you're doing, there's some ads that's paid. Affiliates and partners. And this is basically your power team, your CPA, your attorney. You know, who else do you guys have on your power team as financial planners normally?
CPAs,
PNC agents.
Yeah, but a rainmaker that just knows a lot of people, that the president of something or president of a company. Could be a variety of ways.
Yeah, and it could even be, that's a great point, actually. We all have that one friend who just gets it and is like the hub of the wheel, the connector. And, you know, if you do a good job and do right by them, they'll turn you on to 10 other people, not just one other person, right? And when getting started too, when we don't have our power team in place and those relationships, a lot of times we turn to like a BNI or a business networking group. And that, you know, it's a little inefficient, but it serves its purpose at first. And usually people get, you know, 1, 2, 3 good relationships out of there and then move it out of the group. But affiliates and partners is definitely a good way. Referrals. And anyone that knows me or works with me knows I'm huge on referrals. I'm a digital marketer, but I'm old school also, where I believe everything should funnel towards a personal relationship. So it's not one or the other. It's you should do these things online via email, videos to cast a wide net, but you always want to get to a face-to-face or a personal relationship with your clients or your prospects. And then it's combing that or farming that, I call it, to get more referrals. And if you do right by people, like we said, they will refer, especially with financial planning. And then in person or speaking in events, which is huge because you could get up there in front of 5, 10, 20, 100 people and speak. And it also means that you probably have some authority and some credibility. And so they're seeing you up on the podium and it's a warm reception. That could be workshops, speaking to companies, if you get in with their HR, webinars, free retirement planning seminars, all these things. And drop-ins or people that fall, clients that fall to you from the heavens is number 8. And that's, you're sitting at a baseball game and the guy next to you is really cool and says, oh, I need a financial planner. Or, you're out at a restaurant or someone just walks in the office. So basically, those are the 8 ways we could all get clients. So now I'm going to get a little geeky with it. And the financial planner's formula for marketing success. So this is almost like an algorithm, or algebraic equation. And I went to UConn, so I'm not smart enough to do all that. So my marketing formula is a lot more simple. It's just A, B, C times 1, 2, 3. Basically, think of it like a chain. And if you have any one thing that's missing or a weak link, then you're probably not going to have the best or optimize the potential of your marketing. So you want to make sure you don't have these weak links. And I'll explain these A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3 now. So A is just getting in front of the most people possible. So is your message reaching 10 people, 100, 10,000, sheer volume of the people that you're reaching. B is within your specific target audience, which is huge, right? Because like we said, only 30% of people use a paid advisor, and maybe your messages are reaching someone in Oklahoma, but if that's not in your geographic location, they're probably not going to become clients. Or maybe you're a high net worth advisor, and so many of your people are, just starting out and they're 28 years old and they're just starting a family. And so B is definitely within your specific target audience. C is with the highest level of trust and credibility. So again, your messages will be more warmly received if you were referred to them by a current client. Imagine a cold call to Bob Smith, or Bob Smith's neighbor is your client and says, oh yeah, I'll introduce you. You got to talk to this guy. Totally different conversation, totally different level of prospect and client. And also that's if they heard you speak, a position of authority. If you were referred by their CPA, that's huge. Or even sometimes when you're doing media, if they saw you in an article in the newspaper. I have a client in California, and he got in with a television station because we kept sending press releases. And now, they're lazy. Media is lazy. Once you're a go-to person and you do a good job, they'll keep calling you back because they don't want to reach out to 50 other people. So now he's almost weekly on a TV station. That's incredible high levels of trust and credibility for the people who see him. One is just delivering the most positive messages. So this is positive both in terms of quality and frequency, not, happy, shiny, messages, that kind of positive. 2 is that convey the highest proposed value to the client. So are you demonstrating that you have the solution to their problems? You could help them get to where they want to go. And a key thing that I'll put in here that's definitely should be in your thoughts about all of your marketing, it's the highest proposed value or the highest perceived value. So everything is through the client's lens. Again, you're the mechanic working on the car, you know what needs fixing. The client's not under the hood. They don't understand how to do these things. They only understand the result. So if they're confused, if they're not confident, if they still have questions, if things haven't been broken down and explained to them, they don't feel like there's a firm roadmap to where they want to go, that's their perception isn't as great as it should be. So whenever you're doing things, you may be the genius, you may know that you have them on the right track, but they need to know that and they need to know why. So that's where the client's perception comes in. And number 3, so important, and so many people forget to do this, it's while asking for their business. The call to action, it could be sign up for my email list or come to my seminar, but it's a call to action. And at some point, you have to ask them for business. And a lot of people educate, inform, advise, they talk, they give them materials, but they don't come out and point blank ask for the business, and then ask for repeat business, and then ask for referrals. And there's, of course, appropriate ways to do this. So you're not just barraging them, but you have to point blank ask people for their business. So we talked about the marketing formula. Let me get even geekier with you. And let's think about marketing purely as math just for a second. So how many people did you touch last year? And by touch, I mean like a positive strategic touch point that you initiated with someone from the public, your database, your audience. That could have been a phone call. It could have been an email, email marketing, social media, an impression or a touch. You made videos and the video reached 50 people, advertisements, seminars, all this stuff. 500, 1,000, 10,000. I mean, I'd like to hear from you guys, just a super rough guess of how many people you think you actually hit last year.
2,000.
Yeah, 1,000, I would say.
More than 500. I don't know about 10,000.
That's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. So in that way, we could think of marketing a little bit of math, because whatever that number is, if this year you did nothing else, we're not talking about better quality, we're not talking about more efficiency, all you did was double that number, what would the result be? Now, it probably wouldn't be double the clients, maybe, I don't know, but it could be one more client, 10% more business, 25% more new clients. I'm not sure, but in that way, think of marketing as math as well. You need not only quality of your service and what you're offering, but you need distribution. And so, of course, I'm not saying start shotgunning messages or, send a million emails cold to people and say it's your marketing. Quite the contrary. I believe you should improve the quality and usefulness of those interactions as well. But what you can impact is the quality of content or the value of the information and that distribution. So when we say look at marketing as math and improve your numbers exponentially this year, we're talking about distribution. So increase those positive value adding touches in great scale. I don't mean, 5 more a week, 10 more a week. I mean like double, triple, 10 times. I hate saying 10x because I sound like Grant Cardone, but definitely increase in great scale with the well-defined system so it doesn't take up all your time. And you'll definitely watch your business grow. I guarantee you that. So a lot of people, again, as a financial planner, you hear this from one person, this from another, this is working for them. You get messages and people coming at you that want your business. And it gets a little bit overwhelming and it even changes or evolves every year. And so you may be saying, what should I do? Should I concentrate on LinkedIn? Is that my best bet for efficient marketing? Send more frequent emails to my database and have a better email marketing campaign, jazz up my website. What about paid ads on social media or shooting videos? And people get sort of overwhelmed, or like I said, they start a lot of things and don't follow through with them. So this breaks down essential marketing for financial planners or financial professionals. And by no way is this exhaustive. There are other things you can do, but these are the absolute fundamentals. Think of this as like you have a bucket, you want to fill it with money, but missing one of these is basically having a hole in the bucket. So you could pour in your time, you could pour in your money, in your advertising dollars, and you're just going to lose a lot. There's going to be a lot of spillage because you don't have your essentials covered. I'm a big believer in master the fundamentals, right? When you're playing a sport, when you start out in the business, let's get the ABCs on point, let's get them perfect, and then move on to the next thing. And so these are the fundamentals that every business owner really, or every financial professional should be doing. Email marketing campaigns, definitely. There's still some of the highest ROI for interacting with existing clients or new prospects. Social media engagement, it comes and goes. Everyone is sick of Facebook these days, but LinkedIn, for instance, you may reach a different demographic that's more in your target market. But social media is a great way for distribution of your content. Video messaging, just incredible. And my clients know that I'm always pushing for them to do better and more video. I have good looking clients too. So that helps, custom graphics and visual content. So you should be creating your own images, graphics, charts, visual content. Don't just rely on, for your marketing, let's say on social media, just don't post a link and it's a link to someone else's blog or someone else's image. And it's not your name, your logo, your face, your branding. Make sure it's custom. Lead capture and ads. That's when we start talking about a little bit of a funnel. And it could be landing pages. Maybe you're giving away a building wealth guide or giving away a white paper, mistakes, not to make in retirement planning, but you're getting their email address, or you're setting consultations. It could be free offers. And of course, paid ads as well definitely have their place. And then there's written content, which is blogs, reports, white papers, again, that you have, that's your name on it, whether you wrote it or not. Not plagiarized, of course, but you could take inspiration from others, or put your thoughts together, or have someone help you with that, or even AI these days. But don't keep sharing other people's content and expect to get the business from that. So those are the essential marketing platforms, really, for any financial planner. So if someone put a gun to my head and said, what's the absolute best use of your time when it comes to marketing? My answer would be, number one, for you guys, you should probably be making $250 to $500 an hour at your highest and best use. 250 maybe selling it short, honestly. I'm not sure what do you guys think would be your highest and best use per hour?
Like what's
Does
our
that mean how much we make an
how much
hour?
we make an hour? Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're doing the most productive things you can, what is the dollar value on that hour?
It's higher than that.
Easily 500 for sure.
Easily 500. Probably I sold you short, huh?
Yeah.
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 You're talking about most productive for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so to me, from a marketing standpoint, let's say $500 to $1,000 an hour, I would say making videos, high level B2B networking, like we talked about, meeting with that CPA, meeting with that attorney, those people that are going to refer you business, B2B, group presentations, where you're not just in front of one person, but you're in front of 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, and it's a captive audience. And then sales meetings, actual closing clients, asking for their business, signing new clients up, actually getting more clients within the business. So I would say that's your highest and best use, and the best use of your time when it comes to your marketing, and where you're going to make that $500 to $1,000 an hour.
Can you give me what's the difference between the high level B2B networking and group presentations?
So, good question.
Just might be other people interested. B2B is just with doing the same thing with business owners.
Yeah, and it's not necessary. It could be taking your CPA out to dinner or lunch or coffee. Nurturing that relationship.
Okay.
It could, but you're not speaking to a potential client. You're speaking to someone who could open the floodgates for a whole lot of referrals for potential clients, right?
Got it.
And you made a great point that there's a gray area. You could have a client who gets it, and you could speak to them as if they were, a B2B client or someone you're networking with. Group presentations, I mean, like a white glove seminar or a retirement planning seminar you're doing, or maybe you start calling HR reps and they say, yeah, come on down and give a presentation in front of our 200 employees about retirement planning. So those sort of big scale things. And I would say, as much as you can, if it's not a $500 to $1,000 task, delegate it. Delegate it to someone, whether it's a marketing assistant, a marketing service, someone in-house, a younger person under you. But that's really how you're going to scale your business without working 80-hour weeks and actually see business growth. So with all of this, where could you turn for help? When I was in real estate and mortgage, which is small potatoes, but back in California, I did okay for myself. And I was looking to hire people at that point. And I was looking to hire someone to help with email and maybe, blogs and direct mail. Back in the 2000s, it was more direct mail, right? And all these different things. And I found that I had to hire 5 different people to be my entire marketing department, or to implement all my marketing campaigns. And the problem was that they all had their own vision, their own way of doing things. They weren't talking to each other. So there wasn't any synergy. And I tried to get through a presentation without saying synergy, but that's impossible. But so people really need one solution to their marketing instead of hiring 5 different services. You need a solution, not multiple services, because they're not talking to each other. What they're putting out may look different. It may be different visually. It may be different with the messaging, and it's definitely not, creating more. I would recommend that you also don't want someone in-house, meaning you don't want to hire a full-time marketing person, just because the feedback I get from the financial planners I work with and what you guys need. You're dealing with taxes, insurance, HR, maybe office space. I mean, it's just too much of a mess for what you're getting. And honestly, you probably don't need them for 40 hours a week. I'd say, half of that at most, at the very most. So I do recommend hiring a contract marketing assistant, meaning it's not an employee, it's someone that's 1099 or however you do it, but it's someone that has to hustle and work hard for you and do a good job to keep the business. And also when you're talking to someone, when you're looking around for a marketing assistant or for marketing help, don't let anyone rush you. Don't let them tell you, oh, this offer is only good in January and the price is going to double. Or, you guys understand the game, right? There's urgency where they want you to sign up. Don't let them sell you the sunshine. Oh, you do these ads and you're going to have an endless stream of leads and clients and it's going to be perfect. It's going to be all of your marketing. And don't go with people that fail to offer references or are really transparent with not only the upside, but also the downside. And what are, there's a benefit and a advantage, but also a cost or a downside to everything you do. So a few helpful resources for you. I could send you this presentation with audio. I also have a ton of like PDF one-page white papers. There's one that maybe you guys want to delve into called 12 questions to ask about your marketing outside of the ones that I had in here today. And that one's good because it's sort of like a SWOT analysis for your marketing. And you'll be able to see pretty quickly what you're doing right or wrong. And of course, anytime if you guys wanted to talk, if you wanted to sit down virtually and just chop it up about your marketing, what you're doing, that's great with me. I'm blessed where I have a lot of wonderful clients. And I could always use, one more, but I'm small and I'm agile. I don't need 200 clients to make a living. If I have, a good 15 clients at any given time, that's more work than I could handle. So I'm just happy to sort of make sure you guys are taken care of. So give me an email if you want any of these resources or you just want to talk about your marketing anytime.